The first time I saw this scene was probably the closest a video game has ever brought me to tears. Hey guys, it's Sora. Today we're gonna dive into more of an opinion piece, and in this video I'm just gonna gush. I'm gonna be gushing over how well executed the Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep secret ending Blank Points is. It has got to be one of the best executed scenes in the series, and it comes from Birth by Sleep of all places. So in this video, we're gonna travel back to when Birth by Sleep was the newest Kingdom Hearts game and watch Blank Points together. I just kinda wanna explain the emotion this scene got out of me back then and what it did right to seem so amazing at the time. Remember, the year is 2010, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep is the hottest new Kingdom Hearts release, no such thing as Dream Drop Distance or anything beyond. We need to put ourselves in the shoes of someone who played Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2, and I guess Days, and now we just completed all the stories in Birth by Sleep as well. Played as Terra, Ventus, Aqua, learned about their 3 tragic fates. Blank Points is the last cutscene that unlocks in theater mode when you meet all of these requirements. You can say what you want about Birth by Sleep as a whole, but this scene in particular, I think really nailed the frame for the future of the series, as well as doing a good job of getting some feels out there, and I'm gonna try to explain how this scene turned out to be so special to me. So let's start the scene with that 2010 mindset. Well, for the first 2 instances of the scene, Hidden Truths and Image of Their Backs, I'm not going to look at it too deeply. We see Terra and Xehanort having an inner struggle within Terra. Terra expresses that he's not afraid of Xehanort and he'll get him out of here, to which afterwards Xehanort implies that Ericus has snuck his way inside of Terra's heart. Intriguing. The next scene, which takes place at Ansem's lab in Radiant Garden, Braig is checking in with Xehanort to make sure it's actually Xehanort who successfully is in control of this body, and since he's here, he will continue to guide along Xehanort according to his plan. Ansem the Wise and a young Ienzo turn around and look at them. The way this scene transitions into the next is where it begins to get lit. Two who were never meant to meet. Okay, now it's time to get to the excitement. Remember, the last thing we saw in the previous scene was the camera zooming in on Ansem's eyes. And here, we start with his eyes under a hood as the camera zooms out. Perfect transition. We see he's in the realm of darkness. Okay, how did this happen? Yo, Aqua! Oh my god.
Who are you?
Why, hello. It's not often I get visitors.
Please, call me Aqua.
Seeing these 2 characters meet is very strange, as the title of the scene implies 2 who were never meant to meet. Over our entire course of playing Kingdom Hearts up to now, Aqua and Ansem the Wise seemed to be quite unrelated, so it's a bit shocking to see them. Since Aqua is in the realm of darkness here, we know that this is after the final episode story in Birth by Sleep, but anything more of where this is happening so far is unknown.
Why are you sitting here all alone in the realm of darkness? How did you end up here?
Well, I can tell you this is my 2nd time on these shores.
Ansem here says it's his 2nd time. This is the first hint at where this could possibly be taking place. But because he goes through his lines so fast here, you don't really have enough time to put much thought into the line as the scene goes on.
But unfortunately, much like the first, I do not remember who I am or whence I came. Everything was washed away in whatever currents carried me here.
So now Ansem has made it clear that he doesn't remember much of how or why he's here. So us as the player not knowing what he's doing here yet puts us on nearly the same page as him, and the scene has a very mysterious yet exciting feel to it.
That's too bad. I know I've been here a long time, wandering through the endless hours, unable to escape.
You wish to return to your own world?
It's my friends. I promised I'd be there for them.
Your friends. Somewhere in the scraps of memory I have left, you remind me of a boy I once knew.
This is where it gets lit, my dude.
He is very much like you. True to his friends and kind, this boy travels to many worlds and fights to keep the light safe.
That line right there, "this boy travels to many worlds," is where it all slowly started to hit me like a brick. Before this line, I wasn't too sure on when this scene was taking place. Hearing Ansem say basically the main story events of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and by that I mean referring to a boy who travels to many worlds, is the first time it makes the viewer think of Sora naturally if they had played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. It's not enough information to be like, yo, that's Sora 100% totally, but this is the first part that clearly points to Sora at all and gets you thinking.
Keep the light safe? I've been away too long. Did something happen out there? Are the worlds in danger?
Sad to say, they nearly fell to darkness more than once.
More than once. Sora has been on a journey to save the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, more than once, 2 journeys.
But at every turn, that boy arrived with Keyblade in hand to save the day.
Huh? Wait a sec. Is his name Terra or Ven?
Aqua asks if it's Terra or Ventus out of desperation, hoping that one of her friends are okay and perhaps have been fighting all this time to protect the worlds. Makes sense given her mental state and the constant hints of she's been in here a long time. The way the music just abruptly stops as she asks this question is brilliantly done as well.
Neither of those, I'm afraid.
Should have known.
How long has it been since I met him? At least a year now, perhaps more. Back then, my heart was clouded with vengeance. I did terrible things, both to him and his friends. I brought unhappiness to more lives than one. I felt something must be done. Was that why? A means of clearing my conscience, or perhaps out of a sort of scholarly instinct? While the boy slept his long sleep, I hid the results of my research inside him, transplanting the data to where it might best serve a purpose.
After this bit of dialogue from Ansem is where this gets 100% confirmed to be a Sora, at least with enough evidence in my opinion. No doubt about it. And the detail that makes it so blatantly obvious is when he talks about the boy sleeping his long sleep. Any Chain of Memories player would know that without a second thought. Ansem says that it's been perhaps a year or more since he's met him, and we know Sora meets Ansem the Wise in Kingdom Hearts 2. This is where the scene finally tips you off onto where exactly this is taking place, and it's even more shocking since it's common knowledge that Birth by Sleep is 10 years before Kingdom Hearts 1. So that makes this, right now, approximately 11 or even 12 years Aqua's been in here. Now that you also know the timeline here, you can remember at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, Ansem the Wise stayed in the explosion with his machine in the world that never was. And while Mickey tried to stop him from being there, it was said back then that it would be unknown what the effect of being caught in this explosion of hearts would be. It's not until this scene that we finally found out that his machine sent him to the realm of darkness and wiped a bit of his memories. And now it's all starting to make beautiful sense. We got references for both Chain of Memories and Kingdom Hearts 2 players to immediately understand. The way they slowly go from this scene being ambiguous to telling the story of Sora without the outright feeding the viewer the name Sora is what I find really well done. You put the pieces together as you watch. What I mean is, like, Aqua doesn't go all
50 years have passed, but I do not age.
Absolutely no hate to Samurai Jack, of course, just an example, but instead they give you the pieces gradually over the scene and you put it together yourself as you're watching, so you get a sort of revelation mid-scene, and that was brilliant. Realizing this scene takes place in what is essentially present Kingdom Hearts time pushes the hype meter up quite a few notches, as you no longer feel like you're in a prequel, which is what you felt like for all of Birth by Sleep, this long game you've been playing, but now you are beyond even Kingdom Hearts 2, which is quite the exciting change.
In fact, I would like to believe maybe he can set things right. A boy like him who touches so many hearts, he could open the right door and save all those people whose lives I managed to ruin. So many are still waiting for their new beginning, their birth by sleep.
And then riding all that excitement, you get a name drop. And the name Birth by Sleep is given some significance in being the new beginning for people who will be saved by Sora.
Even me, and even you.
And with all this, Aqua finally stops playing the guessing game and asks,
What's this boy's name?
His name is...
The way they cut here makes you go like, oh no! Because as the viewer, you probably wanted to hear Ansem drop the legendary name, the name of that boy we spent hours playing with on our PS2s 4 to 8 years ago, but nope, cut. Instead, we move on to All the Pieces Lie Where They Fell. And this doesn't turn out to be a bad thing, actually.
Sora.
Sora. And with that, we do get a name drop that we wanted so badly, but we don't get it from Ansem like we expected. Instead, we get these scenes which at first we'd be scratching our heads and asking, you know, how do these nobodies exist after Kingdom Hearts 2? How is Ven sleeping at an unruined Land of Departure? And how is Terra there? Until you realize that this isn't something physically taking place, but more of a metaphorical scene. This scene is just showing mainly the ones who were hurt and need saving. Well, almost all of them. Arguably, Naminé and Roxas can be considered fine, but if for some reason Nomura wants these guys to be their own people after Kingdom Hearts 3, then it makes sense that they are also waiting for their birth by sleep as well, even if I don't in particular want that to happen. And with the cut back to the Realm of Darkness, although the hood has no expression on its face, you know. You already know. This man just said Sora. Let's see Aqua's reaction. And the tears rolling down Aqua's face are so powerful. At first you wonder, why would she be crying? Then you realize, briefly, in her story of Birth by Sleep, she meets both Sora and Riku, those kids she met over 10 years ago. Sora is now saving worlds with a Keyblade. That's a shock, a relief, a whole wave of emotion and questions for her. This is our Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 experience tying into our Birth by Sleep experience beautifully, making Birth by Sleep feel very important and significant in this storyline now as it reaches for those main titles and brings feels from them and combines it here.
Sora.
And there it is, Aqua. Just like in the metaphorical scene before us where all the ones who needed saving said Sora's name out loud, she also says Sora in the same way they did. This puts her in her place with the others as someone who needs to be saved by Sora, our hero of the series. Now we get to the final scene, where they wait for him. I think the scene already up to here warranted enough emotion to be an amazing scene already, but the train of emotion doesn't stop here. Time to turn it into full-on hype in where they wait for him. And did I mention that the music for that whole past area and this next area coming up has been really on point and in sync with the imagery? Because it really just is, and it adds to the scene on another level.
Sora.
Good one, Riku. Riku does the Sora name drop, but not in a I need to be saved kind of way, just as a friend. I feel that the first thing you hear being Riku casually saying Sora after we got all of the hurting people saying Sora just a minute ago in a way of reaching out to their hero is a clever play on the scene. Riku just comes in casually with the Sora. I hope what I just said makes some sense. You get me, right?
Riku. Your mind's made up? Yeah.
And there it is. We see the letter. The letter. This is the mysterious letter from the king that appeared at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 as a cliffhanger, now opened and read by Sora. He's made his mind up on this letter, and we still don't know exactly what it says and won't know until recoded, but we'll get some hints here that will give us an idea.
Sora.
Kairi. It's just, they really need me. I have to go. I am who I am, because of them.
There's a small hint that the letter is asking Sora to go on some kind of new journey, and he's at least somewhat aware that someone needs saving.
See you soon.
And here we end with the lucky charm. Remember, Kairi gave that to Sora when he said he couldn't bring her to Hollow Bastion with him in Kingdom Hearts 1. So now seeing it return and being given to Sora implies that he's going on another journey and he'll have to bring her lucky charm back again, just like he did at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2. Everything about this exchange is hinting at Sora taking another big journey, which the average player would probably assume to be Kingdom Hearts 3. That wraps up our masterfully done, in my opinion, scene, Blank Points. One of the most well executed scenes in all of Kingdom Hearts, I believe. This is also the first time I recall ever having Reconnect Kingdom Hearts appear, as iconic as that is now. So this scene took us from the revelations, to the feels, to the full-on hype train ahead. Sora is going on another journey potentially to save all the people who need it, and the ending with the full-on hype after a feels train is part of what makes this scene so amazing. That, and the way the scene lets the player use their existing knowledge of the story to piece together what's really happening in the exchange between Aqua and Ansem the Wise, instead of just spoon-feeding you the details. Also, music was on point the entire time, from when it stopped when Aqua was about to ask about Terra and Ven, to when it ramped up when the character said Sora, and when Sora appeared himself. Very well done. Now, watching this in the eyes of a 2010 viewer, I hope you understand why I found this scene so hype. I said that this is the closest a video game has ever brought me to tears, and yes, that's true, but by that I don't really mean in a sad way, it's just through like hype, like excitement. I remember the first time seeing this on my PSP, I was on my couch downstairs and I got up all giddy and excited. Oh my god, good times. Well, before I wrap this up, let's do a quick fast forward to present day 2017. Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage, was released earlier this year, and it was a new story about Aqua's time in the Realm of Darkness, before blank points happened. Unfortunately, 0.2 did not do blank points any favors, and if anything, devalued the scene a little bit. Let's talk about why that is. In 0.2, Aqua meets up with Mickey. They visit the broken version of Destiny Islands absorbed by the Realm of Darkness. Aqua recalls meeting Sora and Riku, but just calls them those children. Mickey asks what their names were and makes Aqua recall Sora and Riku's names. This part just kinda took away from blank points a tiny bit, because she thought of their names again, when the impression given in blank points made it seem like that's the first time she's heard Sora's name, since, you know, she actually learned Sora's name from the little boy himself.
Well, it's Sora and Riku who've been helping me. We're trying to get that door shut for good.
The same boys?
And here, Mickey tells her that they are helping him shut that door, but unfortunately he can't shut his big mouth. This is Mickey putting the idea in Aqua's head that Sora and Riku are playing a part in saving the worlds.
Aqua, if this is where my friends first got the Keyblade...
And boom, he spoils that they got the Keyblade. Why, Mickey, why? Shut up, man!
It's time. With this key, and Sora's in the Realm of Light, we're gonna close this door.
Ah, shut up, your majesty! He blatantly spoils that Sora is saving the world and Sora is using a Keyblade to lock this door on the other side. You see, part of what made Aqua's tears so powerful after hearing Sora and blank points was what I thought was her being surprised. Surprised that Sora had a Keyblade. Because remember, she was under the impression that Terra only gave that power to Riku. And the surprise was he was the one saving these worlds with a Keyblade. That surprise factor is drastically reduced thanks to these scenes in 0.2.
Now, all we need is Riku.
Sora. Riku.
Look, Blank Points in 2010 was an absolutely amazing scene that beautifully weaved its connections with Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and Chain of Memories, but now it's a little devalued by the events of 0.2. Even watching it today, I still feel that powerful emotion and love how it lets you figure it out as it goes, but sadly, I guess it's no longer truly what it was once thought to be. Anyways, that's all for this video. Leave me a comment with your opinion on Blank Points. Maybe even tell me the story of your first time watching it. Why not? Do you think it was brilliant like I do? Do you think it never really was so great? I'd love to hear what you think. Let me know. I've been Sora 1, and I'll catch you guys later.